Welcome to Cooking with Susan's Herb Songs. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a lactose-free pumpkin pie. After college I became lactose intolerant, so I couldn't eat pumpkin pie without some gastrointestinal repercussions. But then I learned how to make pumpkin pie by substituting silken tofu for the evaporated milk. And it was so delicious that the first time I made this pie, I ate the whole thing all by myself.
Here's what you need. For the filling, a pie pumpkin or can of pumpkin, brown sugar, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, salt, 2 eggs, and a package of silken tofu. And for the crust, almond meal, which you can get from an organic grocery store, butter, and a little more sugar. The first step is to bake the pumpkin.
You might see instructions that tell you to cut the pumpkin first and to seed it, but don't do that. It's really hard, and it's actually, I think it's kind of dangerous to cut this hard pumpkin. So what you do is you take the pumpkin, washed, put it in the pan, put it in the oven, set the temperature to 350.
And then do something else. After an hour, start sticking it with a knife to see if it's ready.
The oven, knife goes in. Oh yeah, that's done. So I've cleverly hidden the other side where I was poking it with a knife. Kind of underestimated how much time it takes. I guess you should allow about a couple hours for this. It usually takes at least an hour and a half, but it's good to check. Sometimes these things do bake a little faster. And that is really easy to cut once it's baked.
Set the pumpkin aside, and while the pumpkin is cooling, you can start on the crust. First, you need 3 tablespoons of butter.
Notice the markings, just 1, 2, 3, cut. Usually butter's not a problem for people who are lactose intolerant because butter is almost all fat and there's not much milk solids in it. So I can eat butter without any problems unless I really overdo it on the butter, but that might just be from eating too much fat.
You can also use margarine, but avoid ones with trans fats. Melt the butter in a microwave-safe dish, a few seconds at a time, alternating with shaking.
Okay, just keep doing that until it's melted.
Mix the brown sugar together with the almond meal and put it in with the butter. Mix it together with your fingers and press it into the pie pan to make the crust.
And then if you push in the corners, that'll help you get it up on the side.
Bake in a preheated oven and start checking at 8 minutes to make sure it doesn't burn.
Okay, the crust is pre-baked, set to go.
Now that the pumpkin is cool and you won't burn your fingers, scoop out the seeds and then scoop out the pumpkin. Next, lightly beat 2 eggs and then in a food processor, puree the silken tofu so that your pumpkin pie won't have any lumps. Add it to the eggs, and then get about 2 cups of pumpkin and puree the pumpkin too. Add the pumpkin to the bowl, and then the spices and salt, and the brown sugar. Mix together till smooth and add to the pie crust.
So it goes into a 425 degree preheated oven for 15 minutes, and then you'll reduce the heat to 350 for about an hour until a knife stuck in the middle comes out clean.
And here's the finished pie. After cooling, the last step, of course, is to cut it and eat it. One of my favorite ways to serve it is with a dollop of freshly made cranberry sauce.
How's the pie?
Pretty good.
Did you know that that pie was made with tofu?
No.